I don't know who needs to hear this, but these are the top mistakes that you must avoid while intermittent fasting if you want to get good results. Hey Wellness Warrior, I'm Dr. Zyrowski, and the truth is intermittent fasting can be very frustrating, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a struggle, but it doesn't have to be. You just have to avoid these issues here. Let's start with the wrong hours, okay? This is a very popular question that I get all the time. What are the best hours to intermittent fast? The truth is that there's research that shows that eating in the morning and fasting in the afternoon is the best way, and there's research that shows that fasting in the morning and eating in the afternoon is the best way. At the end of the day, what the best way is for you to intermittent fast is what fits seamlessly into your lifestyle. You know, the fact is your life will always be changing. Some days maybe you're fasting 14 hours, sometimes you're fasting 16 hours, sometimes it's more, where you're eating in the morning or eating in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. All that really matters is that you're getting that 16-hour fasting because that's when the healing occurs. And I haven't seen it to where anybody had massive results by changing their hours to eating in the morning or eating in the afternoon. It really doesn't move the needle that much from anything I have seen, and a lot of the research can even contradict itself. So therefore, when it comes to fasting times and hours, the main goal is try to average that 16-hour fast and then really fit it into your lifestyle, and that is where you'll see the most success. But don't get caught up in the hours too much because a lot of times it can lead to failure. Let's talk about something else that leads to failure. That is the challenges that you may face when intermittent fasting. Maybe you're facing dizziness and fatigue and headaches and brain fog, and you just can't cope with all that. Well, there's a few workarounds. The first thing you want to consider is electrolytes. If you're concerned about your health, one of the things that you probably put some effort into is drinking purified water. Purifying water, if it's done right, actually pulls the minerals out. When you're fasting, one of the things that happens is you actually flush a lot of minerals out of your body, so you want to get them back in. And a lot of times, unless you're an athlete or a runner, you typically don't know about this stuff. So adding electrolytes in is very important. There's two ways I'll do it. One will be just putting a dash of sea salt, that pink salt, into your water. That's one way I'll add more electrolytes in. But the other way is I'll actually add a electrolyte hydrating drink, and I'll take a scoop of that and put that powder in my water. And I'm pretty much throughout the entire day either having a little bit of sea salt in it, or I'm having that hydrating electrolyte drink. And I'll put a link to that hydrating electrolyte drink in the description below. It's important to make sure that you're getting your electrolytes because it's going to make you feel so much better. Now, let's say that you've tried that and you're still struggling with intermittent fasting. Well, B vitamins may be your next issue because the fact is if you live a stressful lifestyle, maybe you're physically training and exercising and you're putting that stress on your body, and then you go and you add intermittent fasting in. Well, intermittent fasting is a good stressor on the body, but the fact is it's still a stressor. So many people who lack B vitamins in their body can really feel that strain and that overall sense of stress in their body when you start intermittent fasting and have that B vitamin deficiency. So if that's you and you're having blood sugar irregularities and dizziness and all these different things that start to pop up and just major fatigue, well, B vitamins and electrolytes are your typical answers and go-tos to make that all better. Now, as far as B vitamins go, there's 16 different B vitamins that you need. So what I'll do is I'll put links and resources to these two things in the description below, as I already stated. Next here is bad food, okay? If you're eating really low quality food during your eating window, this is not going to serve you well. As I always say, if you're eating a bunch of sugar, what goes up must come down. If you put your blood sugar in a very bad place while you're eating, well, guess what? It is going to crash while you're in the fasted state. But the other thing that happens is you're not getting the proper macronutrients or micronutrients while you're intermittent fasting, and getting them during your eating window, you're going to find that you don't feel well. Imagine when you're fasting, if you didn't eat enough protein, oh my goodness, you're gonna feel terrible. Or when you're fasting, if you didn't get enough good fats in, or if you didn't get the proper amount of carbs that was necessary in order to help you feel good. This stuff can affect your sleep and also really start to irritate you. So whenever you're eating, I like to make sure I'm going like high protein, high fat, and also low carb and sugar free as much as possible. Let's talk about calorie restriction. Now, it's very important to understand that intermittent fasting is not a calorie restriction thing. You're supposed to actually eat the proper amount of calories, but just put all your meals close together. So whenever intermittent fasting, make sure that you're not starving yourself. Now, you may want to use intermittent fasting as a weight losing technique, and that's okay, because the truth is that it works really well for that. But we have to make sure that we're not calorie restricting too much. So if you want to lose weight, use it and allow yourself to restrict calories maybe by like 500 calories per day. If you go into a 500 calorie deficit, you'll be okay. But if you literally use it as a technique to start starving yourself, you can actually disrupt your metabolism over time. Though I do not like calorie counting, I think it's a very frustrating process and technique to do every day. It is good for you to have an idea of how many calories you need and what proper amounts of food looks like to you as an individual every day. So therefore, when you start fasting, getting an idea of how much you should be eating at each meal is a really good process to go through. And then once you understand it, you don't need to calorie count anymore, but make sure you're not calorie restricting too much here, because it will lead to failure and hunger issues. Now, the next thing is breaking your fast. We want to make sure that we break our fast properly. The best thing you can do when breaking your fast is break it with good, healthy proteins and fats, okay? I know that a lot of times you come off this fast and you're hungry and you want to just kill the pizza or the sweets or whatever it is, but the truth is that whenever you're fasting and then you have like a bunch of carbohydrates and you have a bunch of sweets right out of that fast, your blood sugar goes nuts. So what you really want to do is make sure that you're breaking your fast with like proteins and fats, and then if you're going to add carbs in, add it in after you consume your proteins and fats, and it will have much less of a spike on your blood sugar. So these are the top mistakes that you want to make sure that you avoid when intermittent fasting, and you'll have success with this. You'll start to lose weight. You'll start to feel better. Your gut health will get better. You'll notice less inflammation, pains, and aches in your body. Your sleep will become better if you're doing this right. If you start messing this up, it can actually start sending you in the wrong direction. So I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, put in the comments below, let's start a conversation. And how are you intermittent fasting and how is it going for you? What have you seen success with? I'd love to know. It was a pleasure seeing you in this video. I'll see you in this video next.